I obtained body camera footage in a records request that shows Lori Vallow brought a locked black box with her when she was extradited from Idaho to Arizona, and only she has the combination.
But this snow is really sticking to the ground, look, and it's the packy kind too. So great for all the skiers and snowboarders that maybe want to go up to Snow Bowl later today, but not so great for people out on the roads. As I said, it's sticking everywhere. You can take a look at the roadways now. We've actually seen a few plows come by here through downtown Flagstaff, and there's good reason why people want to get inside, get that close-up look at Lori Vallow Daybell in the courtroom. We'll be able to see her demeanor. And of course, this is going to be a moment of truth for her when the judge hands out that sentence.
Do you think the department should be responsible if someone takes their own life in prison?
I think that the department is responsible.
We did find this department order from 2019, listing a maximum indoor temperature at 80 degrees. That means if you look at those July 2023 temperature logs, every state prison that recorded indoor temperatures would have violated these standards last summer. Compared to last week, it still looks cleaner here than it was before that deep cleaning. You can even see some of the sidewalk and some of the plots where people were staying and went into shelter space. But out here today, people still need help. Chief Sullivan came into the picture. He has past experience when he was in Baltimore dealing with the DOJ investigation. So I don't want to say this is his expertise,
right.
but he does have experience with this. And it seems like he's taken that experience and has really guided the city along here, both in trying to implement those changes, but also not accepting a consent decree right away. This is Jim Lehman's first time running for any major office. His background is in business, and like many in his race, his top priority is the southern border. If you drive through White River and the surrounding communities, support for Officer Adrian Lopez is clear, with blue ribbons and signs just like these. They are trying to do everything they can when it comes to cleanup and approaching this with services in a way that is mindful of people's rights, but it's very challenging. And I want to point out too that there are some legal issues they have to consider, whether they can remove someone from camping. That's an issue being debated by the Supreme Court of the United States right now. When darkness falls on the canal,
Shelter! Come here, guys! Dinner!
people come out of the shadows.
Vamos para comer!
Eric Sanchez runs the Masa Project of Arizona,
Make sure you guys get some dog food as well.
a volunteer group that offers aid to those experiencing homelessness.
We hand out food, Narcan, water, and free hugs, not drugs.
On this night,
Hello, hello.
it's dinner.
Come and get some food, you guys! It's nice and hot!
You don't want to go to sleep hungry. That's terrible.
No. Have you had to go to sleep hungry a lot of nights?
Yeah.
Isaac says he's been homeless for the past 4 years, staying on the canal here near 23rd Ave and Indian School.
I keep leaving this place and I come back.
He says he's struggled with drugs and struggled with getting help.
It's just like a big waiting list. Fall through the cracks like me is real hard.
I don't think we're bad people. We just don't have a home to go to.
Lacey says she's been out here since December after losing housing and not having enough money to pay bills.
Not knowing where you're going to sleep at night makes it kind of hard to be planned and ready for what you're supposed to do the next day if you didn't get robbed that night. So it's a lot to watch for out here. But this guy right here is amazing. He does more than just feed us. He really does.
Eric has his own style, armed, open to everyone.
Hey, brother. We got chow on the canal down there on the left.
Always live streaming on social media.
Welcome in, everybody. Viewer discretion is advised anytime we're out here. It's reality.
But his grassroots efforts
How many people would you say come through the line every night?
Here, between 80 and 100.
have become essential.
And just looking at these people there, you know, they're living out of a shopping cart. They're obviously looking at their fentanyl, and it's a shock, you know, just experiencing this. It's a horrible reality, but something that we have to do and keep them alive. There needs to be more resources at night. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., there's not really much.
Do you see people out here that came from the zone area?
A lot.
For years, the Zone was Phoenix's largest homeless encampment. More than 1,000 people on the streets at its peak. Then, neighbors sued the city for not doing enough to keep the area clean and safe. And a judge ordered the city to close the encampment down. That happened last November, but it didn't mean homelessness just went away in Phoenix. The I-Team analyzed 16 months of data from the city, and after sifting out duplicates, found that calls for encampments, or people needing help with homelessness, went up in the months after the zone was cleared.
Some people have said
that people just moved to a different location. The problem just shifted out of the neighborhood. What do you say to those claims?
Well, I definitely think that over the last decade, we have seen a huge increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness in our community. So what they're seeing and feeling is true. We are seeing more people experiencing homelessness.
Rachel Milne with Phoenix's Office of Homeless Solutions.
The city did successfully close all 15 blocks around the campus to camping. We made a commitment that we would offer every individual who was in that area an indoor place to go. Not everyone took us up on that offer. 82% did, but this was a nice alternative.
This being what the city calls its safe outdoor space, a structured campground that can serve as a step forward for someone not yet able or willing to take an indoor shelter bed. It's in downtown Phoenix, like a majority of homeless services, but Phoenix is working to bring on more shelter beds in other parts of the city, like a new 280-bed space planned for 71st Ave in Van Buren.
We could use more, I'll tell you that. Anytime we open up a new site, it gets filled up very quickly because there are just more people in need of shelter than we have space available.
Back out on the canal.
You're good. We got you.
Efforts are making a dent.
I think it's getting better. I think more people are taking up to the treatment.
Eric's still streaming as they get ready to move to a second spot.
Living like this is addicting.
He thinks the more visible the problem, the less likely people will get lost in the shadows.
And so you have to kind of adapt and approach on a different level. And so that's what we do.
Meet people where they're at.
Yes, yes. Sometimes it's from the ground up.
The inmates got it right. More than a dozen complaining to the I-Team about cells at Perryville being way too hot. Some saying more than 100 degrees. And now the department's own records show that's true.
100, 101, and 102, the three hottest temperatures recorded inside cells at Perryville Prison, different than what the state corrections director told us last week.
I have not had a report of any cell hitting the hundreds or feeling like the hundreds.
The temperature logs just obtained by the 12 News I-Team show that cells in the Lumley unit, which does not have air conditioning, only swamp coolers, hit 100 or more on July 17th. A drastic increase from any other day recorded before it in July. July 17th stands out because that's the same day the I-Team first requested any information about the heat at Perryville. The records do not include any date beyond the 17th, prompting more questions about heat relief in the prison.
Under your watch, were the inmates safe from the heat?
Yes.
Laura Pyle stepped down from her role as warden this week after the I-Team's reports.
I don't appreciate that I'm being blasted on the news like this was my fault, that the director came and saved Perryville, because that's not the case.
She's talking about the new director, Ryan Thornell, who sat down with us to talk about the heat before visiting Perryville during this heat wave.
The temperature checks that you've been receiving, how can the public know that they're accurate?
You know, our staff are professionals, our staff care about their jobs, and our staff care about the wellness of the population. And so to say that what they're doing isn't accurate or not what it's supposed to be, that's just not something that I would entertain.
But multiple inmates and family members told the I-Team that the logs might not be right.
Did you ever tell corrections officers or staff members to alter the temperature logs?
That's a negative. Nobody did.
Do you think it was happening anyway?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, just like he said, I'm going to say the same. I trust my staff.
Inmates also told the I-Team that temperatures were sometimes taken at the vent rather than in the rooms to appear lower.
One of the things that we did find out was that some staff were temping where the air comes out rather than inside the cell,
which Thornell said is not policy.
Our protocol is not to aim it at the cooling vent or where the cold air is blowing in.
When we asked Pyle about the triple-digit temps, she said it was possible the cooling system broke down. Still, the women incarcerated at Perryville tell us these issues go beyond July 17th.
We've been reporting on this for nearly 2 weeks, but only got those temperature logs around 4:30 this afternoon, after the Department of Corrections declined our request to interview Director Thornell again. We've since shared these logs with Governor Katie Hobbs's team, who provided us a statement earlier in the day that did not address the heat or Perryville, but said she's working with Thornell to fix the prisons, which means we are still digging into all of this. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
The past few years in Crystal Fox's life.
The mental health system is just a disaster in Arizona.
Tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. all leading her to this moment.
Thank you for asking me to come today.
Speaking to lawmakers about her son, Joshua.
Oh my gosh, he was the cutest kid. He was athletic, very friendly, very sociable.
About 6 years ago, in Josh's late teens, Crystal said he started experiencing delusions. Court records describe how serious Josh's symptoms were, that he was a danger to himself and a danger to others.
We both knew he was psychotic. We both knew he had schizophrenia.
Crystal and her ex-husband, John, tried to get help for Josh, but she says hospitals and clinics turned them away.
Yeah, we could not get him help.
And then, in June 2021, while they were out getting groceries, Josh stabbed his father, John, to death. Josh was arrested and taken to jail. Crystal said eventually he started to receive treatment.
He even said that he wished he hadn't killed his dad, and especially since now he knows his dad was trying to help him.
What did you tell him?
I told him that I forgave him, that it was schizophrenia that killed his dad.
After taking a plea deal, Josh was sentenced to prison in December 2023 at 23 years old.
But because he had gotten medication and court-ordered treatment, we had these glimmers of hope.
Hope faded fast.
On December 20th, Joshua hung himself in his cell. His brain had already pretty much quit functioning.
Josh hung himself less than 2 days after he was booked into the state prison in Phoenix and died a few days later at the hospital, just before Christmas.
I am a psychiatric nurse. I worked for 35 years in behavior mental health. The whole mental health system failed me.
With Josh's history, Crystal doesn't know why Josh was in a position where he could hurt himself in prison. In an email, a state corrections department spokesperson said they investigate all prison deaths and couldn't comment on a pending investigation.
We don't know what happened. We don't know who dropped the ball.
Back to this hearing, 2 weeks after Josh died. Lawmakers and community members serving on the Legislative Psychiatric Hospital Review Council, including the prison system's mental health director.
He lasted 30 hours.
Who stayed silent after Crystal detailed her son's suicide in prison.
I really couldn't look at her.
Crystal's not alone. She's part of a growing group called Mad Moms, parents and loved ones of people who have serious mental illnesses, who run into hurdle after hurdle in Arizona's behavioral healthcare system, from the lack of long-term beds to little oversight at group homes and other care clinics.
This is, without a doubt, a community problem.
I don't see providers here telling us about their solutions.
The council vowed to help.
No one's held accountable. There's no teeth in the law.
We can get something done if you're serious about it.
It would be another tragedy for Crystal if the talk never turns to action.
It should not be that hard.
There are Suns fans, and then there's the Faye family.
It's not really an option. In our family, we bleed purple and orange.
The definition of diehard.
I did marry a Lakers fan, and I have converted him to a Suns fan.
Stephanie and her brother Michael always played with their dad Bill growing up.
I need a ball.
An assist from the 12 News archives proves their passion.
Bill Faye was just a kid himself when the Suns were cutting their teeth.
We first met the Faye fam back in 1993. Bill's dad passed down the love to him, Bill doing the same with his own kids.
Kurt Rambis glasses.
Michael still has those glasses and hung on to this pendant.
The pendant is up in my boy's room.
But Bill's shirt may have been a fashion foul.
One of the comments, one of my family members was, "Nice shirt, Dad."
But hey, the guy still has game. And a lot more people to shoot with.
6 grandsons and 1 granddaughter.
The Faye fandom for the Suns passed down to another generation.
Both hands.
Watching games together.
You're gonna play in school?
Even playing pickup.
I usually win.
Being a forever Suns fan isn't always easy.
They've broken my heart, a lot.
Especially in 1993.
They might even win the championship, I think.
But this finals run now.
I think this is our year.
A slam dunk either way.
All day long.
When you're making more memories.
Go ahead, shoot it.
For the archives.
Oh, good try.
In Paradise Valley, Erica Stapleton, 12 News.